Good morning or evening, depending on which country you're in. My name is Gary Height, and I'm the Program Director for the integration of the Puerto Rican business unit into the North American ERP solution. I'd like to thank everybody for their attendance today, and thank you in advance for your consideration of all the facts that are to follow. Let's start with who's in the room today. For IT, the CIO Mandar, the Program Director Mangesh, the Program Manager Sharon. For the PR business unit, the Program Director Ed, and the IT Director Angel, along with many of his teammates that graciously flew in for today's meeting. Before I begin, I'd like to relate a story that Mangesh told me when I first came onto this program, and it has to do with the size and magnitude of the North American ERP solution. As of today, it has been in flight for over 2.5 years and has consumed and is currently consuming 500 resources, both associates and consultants. The purpose of today's meeting is to give you an update on our findings and to give you a go-forward recommendation based on those findings. The plan for the presentation is to cover 3 points and once again give a go-forward recommendation. As a point of order, should you feel the need to ask any questions, please feel free to do that at any point in this presentation. It's vitally important that we be aligned after this meeting. So let's have discussions rather than me just presenting to you. So unless there are any questions at this point, let's begin. Point 1. If we continue down the path we're on, we will create a unique ERP instance for the PR business unit, something that they are currently suffering for and currently suffered for the last 10 years. This violates the corporate mandate of a single ERP solution. It also creates significant costly throwaway work. We will not make the current go live date for the integration as it is today, and the scope discovered is significantly larger than originally thought. The current project plan does not have enough time for coding or testing, which is a very high risk, and therefore we will not meet cost or time objectives and violate the corporate mandate in the process. There are no further questions. I'll continue to point 2. Point 2, stopping now, we will lose valuable momentum and intellectual capital. The restart would begin in Q3 of 2020, which pushes the timeline out for go live an additional 9 months at an additional cost of approximately $3 million. Questions? If there are no further questions, I'll continue to point 3. Point 3, if we continue the program, we would increase both time and budget. We would have to develop a flexible staffing plan to ramp the consulting team down now and then up as each of the remaining 4 components go into UAT, so we have ample time to ramp them up for the go live events and the integration. We'd have to revise the current project plan to take into account the UAT dates and the go live dates. The net effects of this point are, we would add an additional 6 months versus 9 months added to the timeline as we stated in point 2. The costs would only increase by $2.3 million versus $3 million as we stated in point 2. Finally, the solution would be simpler, less complex, and less expensive to maintain and support going forward. And importantly, Oracle would support it. That's not true for today's Puerto Rican ERP solution. It no longer is supported. It's phenomenally expensive and tough to maintain and defect-ridden. We would continue the program, and the upside would be we would continue the program and we would meet the revised budgets and timelines. The North American ERP solution would be easier to maintain and significantly less costly to support or maintain on a go-forward basis. So in conclusion, we recommend that we continue the analyses and other work efforts required for the successful integration of the Puerto Rican business unit into the NA ERP solution. This will allow us to finish the program on time, finish on budget, reduce costs going forward, and with your blessings, our next steps will be revise the project plan, revise the staffing plan, revise the project budget, work on a revised SOW with Mangash and the help of Sharon, taking into account the project go-live dates of the 4 remaining solutions, increased costs, additions to scope, a more flexible staffing plan. Any questions? If there are no further questions, I'd like to once again thank you for your time today and wish you a wonderful rest of your day.